Welcome back to Mono Chess channel. Today we're gonna play a 10-minute repeat game. Currently we're rating 925. I hope we can get to 1,000 very soon. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, today we got a black pieces. E4 is on the board. We have already played two Sicilian games, so maybe we play uh, Caro-Kann defense. The idea is to use CC and D5 to counter attack the center. Knight C3 try to guard his pawn. We can just capture and then develop our knight. Try to chase some pieces. Chase some knights. If they took, I would take. And we open our the scope of our bishop very quickly. Let's play bishop D6. And then we can castle now. And then I want to develop my queen side. So I can put bishop here or bishop f5. Let's pin this knight to the queen. If you play h3, we do not take on f3 because you will give white a bishop pair. So maybe I will draw my bishop back to h5 to keep this pin. Okay, rook e1, good move to put the rook on the open file. We can play rook e8, or we can develop our knight, maybe to d8, d7, and then rook e8, and maybe knight f8, or put the knight on d7 to support this pawn break. So, okay, let's develop our knight. I want to move my queen and connecting my rook, and then use a rook to occupy the open file. Because if I play rook e8 now, maybe it will trade, and in some day the rook will go to e1 to attack my queen. Okay, d5 is on the board. So if I take, we'll take back with bishop. The bishop is really strong in this diagonal. But we got a intermezzo move. We can play knight b6 to attacking the pawn and attacking the bishop simultaneously. So you don't have time to attack back with the take on c6. Okay. So it just a free pawn. If a bishop move, I will take with a knight. If you take on d5, I'll take. It looks like a free pawn, but less tactic. We can play bishop h2 check to this a discover attack on queen. So I will win a queen in the end of the line. So here it's a free pawn. I appreciate it. I think my opponent now realize there's not a free pawn. He cannot take on d5 because of this check. Maybe he will develop the bishop, but this is not a good square. Okay, take. We have the additional pawn on d5. We control center. We got a bishop pair. We win the pawn. It's nearly a winning position. Okay, he realized he cannot take on here. So maybe we play either queen c7 or queen d7 is good move. Maybe I will play, no, go here. Maybe he can take. Yeah, if I go here, he can take. Maybe we keep this tension. We keep the queen on d file to guard this pawn. and then maybe play rook a d1 or rook f ea to occupy the open file and protect this pawn. So here, obviously we can take because we out a pawn, but no need to give out our bishop pair. The static still exists. So jump bishop back. And now my opponent the king side is really weak. And we got more center. We can put my bishop on the e4 to guard this pawn and have a very strong diagonal. So g4 is a mistake. He cannot weakening his king side like this. Maybe somewhere you will play a move c4. Go here. If I go here, maybe you will go c4. If I take, maybe the rook can attack, but now we are attacking the knight. The knight have to move. I guess it will jump to h4, maybe. Okay, go to d4. Okay, the king is really weak, so maybe we can play h5 to damage the structure, try to chase some pawn and start our attack. Or we can try to stop white from playing the move c4. Maybe we can play ac8. I don't worry about the knight jump to f5 because I can just take. Okay, so let's put pressure on the c file. And next move maybe we'll play h5. Okay, go here. There's one technique that we can put my bishop back to b8 and put my queen on a d6 to try to attack along this diagonal. But maybe I play here. My opponent will play bishop f4 to trade some bishops. So let's play h5. If you take, I will take on h3. Go here to attack my bishop. I'll draw my bishop back to g6. If you take, I can take. And the pawn is still weak now. I can trade and maybe can play f5. Maybe what I should do is to develop the pieces. Maybe play rook a d1. Go here. It's not a threat. I believe we want to go here to start an attack. Maybe. Let's try here. If it take with queen, I can try queens. Go here. Maybe we can play f5. We trade. The king will be very weak. Or go here. Maybe you will lock on the door by playing g5. And then we can play f4. Okay. Say I will take. If we play the moonlight rook d1, I will take on g4 and maybe develop our rook to e8 to occupy the file. Okay, he played g5. So I don't want him to play f4 because my bishop will be very, very sad. So let's play f4. The knight here is really, really strong. Hmm. But if I trade the bishop for a knight, it will be opposite color bishop, middle games. Let's play. How do I continue? Maybe we try to centralize our rook first. Maybe in some line we can play rook e1, rook e5 to attack the pawn. So maybe it's blunder if I trade. If we trade with a rook, I would take this pawn. If he didn't, you just give me the file. If we take with a bishop, I can play rook e8. Okay. So this pawn now is hanging, and this diagonal is really, really weak. If I go here, you'll go back. Okay, let's play. Or I can play receiver to put pressure on this pawn. If we move here, okay, maybe we have to use the light square bishop. We develop the rook first. This file is really close, so yeah. Here, maybe he want to play knight here, knight b5 to attacking the bishop, but we can draw the bishop back to e8. Let's play. I want to bring my rook into the game. This position is actually quite tricky. Maybe we trade the bishop for knight and play the opposite color bishop middle game. Oh, he cannot go here now. Okay, let's play bishop e5 because there's no way to guard this pawn, guard this knight with a bishop. Only take back with a pawn. But we have to play here. Is there any tactic along this diagonal? Maybe not. Just play a6 to kick this knight. You have to go to a very best square, a3, and you will lose a pawn. Okay, or we can, okay, found it. So let's trade and try to attack. Let's play bishop d2. Idea is go to rook e2 to infiltrate to a second rank, second rank, and then double our heavy pieces. If the queen and to here, let's start our attack. I gamble this pawn because I don't care. It's a opposite color bishop middle game. So it favors the side who is attacking. In this situation, it's me. The king is really, really weak, and we got a very active pieces. At least we can take this pawn and try to use my queen to join the attack. You go here, maybe there's a tactic along but there's a tactic here. Go here, check, and just take no. Go here, I can go. Okay, let's play Queen F5 to attack the bishop, protect our bishop. Now this discover attack works because now our bishop is guarded. Go here. Okay, let's see. We can play. Doesn't work. If we go here, let's say we play here. You have to move the queen. Maybe here can play queen here. Try to mate, or let's say go here. Go here. Oh, maybe we can sacrifice a rook by playing rook d2. You cannot take because of this pin. Go here. Queen cannot go to this square. Cannot go here. Only available square is to play queen e1 and rook d2 move guard block this bishop, so we can take and then mate. I think this is a brilliant move. Let's play it. So best way to deal with maybe just give out the queen for rook and a bishop. Yeah. Yeah, this move is really cool. Boss a bishop, so we can take with the queen. Take g5 with the queen. It's beautiful. Yeah, I think it works. Go here. Okay, now it's time. Let's play here check. And mate on the next move. Only ways to stop it to block with a queen, and then will be checkmate on the next turn. Okay, GG. Yeah, good game. And let's analyze this game. Okay, wait a minute. Uh, let's check by the engine. Uh, 1 second, you guys. Here, no, sorry, 1 seconds. Go here. Okay, so let's take a look of this game. My opponent play e4, I reply with c5. The idea is to let white temporary occupy the center and counterattack immediately with the move d5. There's another like a broader opening. It closes French defense by playing the move e6. After white play d4, we play d5. But if white plays a move like e5, the position is closed, but I can play the move like c5 to counter that center immediately. But you can see this pawn structure, the bishop is really sad on c8. So the best thing for Caro-Kann is the bishop now is not blocked. So even if my opponent plays the move e5, before we play e6, we can bring our bishop up and then play e6. This is the true version of a French, I would say. But the job is to counter attack the center a little bit slowly than the French defense. So both opening are playable. So on knight d3, and then we just take because I want to develop my knight, but it will be attacked by a move e5. So I take first and then play knight f6. So after knight capture, I can open our dot square bishop very quickly. And we don't worry about the double pawn on the king side because our king will go into the king side. So it's really very safe for our king. We don't care about the double pawns. It just got our king. So develop bishop to here, good move. Develop knight, castle, and then before I play the move like knight d7, I want to develop my bishop first because this move will block my bishop. So most principal way is to play bishop out and then play knight c7, and we'll try to pin this knight. If my opponent want to solve its pain, the best way to do is not to play the bishop e2. It's too passive. It can play a move like queen d3 and then move the knight out. So try to develop the rook to move. And then I naturally I want to develop knight to this square to attack the bishop, maybe occupy the d5 square. Or put a knight here, maybe one day I can play c5 to counter the center. But my opponent blunder with a move, d5. It looks like if I trade, this bishop is really good here. But I can play the intermezzo move, knight b6 to attack the bishop first. So if he take, there will be a free bishop. So white has to move the bishop to b3, and I can play knight takes d5, and looks like this pawn is free pawn, but it's actually a wrong into a tactic. We should h2 check. This move is a check. He has to deal with. Let's say to this bishop, he will lose the queen. So my opponent realized that he cannot take on d5. Oh, by the way, this tactic is very common. So he realized it by playing the move like bishop e3 to develop his pieces. I want to play a move like queen c7 to create this battery to attack the h2 pawn, but now this pawn will be hanging. Although we can take the knight and then take the pawn, still a pawn up, but now we lose our central pawn. So it's not, and white got a very powerful diagonal, so maybe it's not the best way to play. So I choose to play queen d7 to keep this tension. So still cannot take because bishop h2. And then I can connect our rooks and then maybe play rook on the open file or guard this d file. Play h3. Of course, we do not trade because the queen will be active. Our bishop is really good here. So the move g4 is on the board, and I think it's not a good move because you can see now Black has already up a pawn and got more space on the center and got a bishop pair. So actually g4 this move will weakening the white's king. Actually it will you can see white is checkmate by me because the exposed the queen. So you cannot play like this if you didn't control the center. So after bishop g6, he will default the queen to connect his rook. And here comes bishop e4 to guard this pawn to attack the knight and pull up bishop to a powerful diagonal. Here, bishop is nice strong here, but I can develop my rook to c8, put pressure on this pawn to solving white from playing the move c4 because this is an outpost for my bishop. So my opponent played the move d3, and the typical idea for this pawn structure is to play h5, try to chase some pawns in front of the king. So the king is very weak. So he played move f3 to weakening this diagonal is not a good move. So after I draw my bishop back, you play move queen g2. I don't know what the idea is, but after trade, I can play move f4. If we take, you can see the white king is really terrible. I can play rook e8, rook e6, and try to attack by this strategy. It's called rook lift. So I feel like it's very dangerous. So he tried to close the king side. So there's no like this idea, rook ideas. So if I just fall in asleep, like play a random move like a6, you'll play move f4. So you can see now my bishop becomes a very big pawn. There's no way, no good function on this diagonal, and my dark square bishop too, and white is completely fine in this situation. So I have to play the move f4 to open out this diagonal, and maybe my dark square bishop is temporarily blocked, but I got a very powerful light square bishop. So after bishop drop back to f2, I occupy the file with the rooks, play move a4 to get more stable on the king side. But this move is stronger because now he cannot tap back with a rook because this pawn will be hanging. So I believe the right plan is to adjust the queen. The queen is really useless in on g2. Maybe you should play going back to f1. Maybe queen. No, it's not a good way for him to develop because this file is occupied, and because of this bishop, he cannot go to d3. It's already a very terrible situation for white. Maybe the strong way is to play rook a e1 to put pressure on this pawn. Anyway, after 2, because this pawn, you have to play bishop e1, then I can occupy the center of e-file with our rook. He should play this move to guard this knight. We go here, try to attack. Here comes bishop e5. My idea is to take, and then after, because he put a bishop on the d2, he cannot tap back with a bishop, only tap back with a pawn. And you can see this pawn is really weak. So after this move doesn't do anything, I can just play a6. If we go here, I can just take this pawn. So he go back after he trade. I can play bishop here. Idea is I want to infiltrate into a 7th rank, but now it's just a blunder. So I use my activate my bishop to join the attack. It looks like a free pawn, but actually I gambit this pawn because now I can start to attack. This is the opposite color bishop middle game. So if the queen is off the board, rook is also off the board. Even though I just win up, and I have a clean pawn up, but due to the nature of opposite color, the white light square bishop cannot attack the pawn in the dark square, and the dark square bishop cannot attack the pawn in the light square. So it will be a deadly draw. So I cannot trade over the heavy pieces. It will become a draw. But now it's a middle game. So the dark square bishop cannot defend his light square. So go here, it looks very weird because it run into a pin. So I play the move queen f5 to guard this pawn because there's no discover 10 now because my bishop will be hanging. So I play move queen f5 to guard this bishop. So after let's say random move, let's discover that works because now the bishop is protected. And simultaneously I attack the f4 bishop. So after drop the bishop battle here, I want to take on this pawn, but the bishop is guarded. And now, since the discover tab works, and original idea is to play the move like rook takes b2 to gain some pawns. But I found that if my queen can go to the square like g4 or g5, maybe it will become checkmate in the next turn. So I come up with this move, rook d2. I believe it's a brilliant move. You can see I sacrifice a rook, it seems like I sacrifice a rook, but if he take, I can just take the queen and have the winning position. The move layers queen c2 to attack both the pawn and the bishop. So it's a winning position for black. And if you don't take the move like just dodge the threat, I can play queen here, and then after queen blocks, you'll become checkmate in the next turn. Yeah, and there's really no way for white to stop it. So yeah, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and now I'm rating 965. I believe in the next episode we win, we can climb to 1,000. And if you like my video, make sure you subscribe our channel and comment below. Thank you. See you next video. Bye.